is not the victory of might, but the vindication of right. Not peace at the expense of freedom, but both peace and freedom here in this hemisphere, and we hope around the world.
I have a dream.
Well, that's where we start when I go into politics.
Continue to be held as hostages in an attempt to force unacceptable demands on our country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Is increasing inequality and deep divisions among our own people.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack.
Congress has failed to pass federal hate crimes legislation that protects LGBT Americans from senseless violence.
So let us summon a new spirit of patriotism, of responsibility, where each of us resolves to pitch in and work harder and look after not only ourselves but each other.
Broadcasting live from the MSC Radio Network with an eye of the world from the city built on steel, rock and roll, and is the fictitious home of Betty White. This is Joust It Out, and I am here with the wonderful Judith Pindell. She's quite lovely, too.
Good evening.
Good evening. And, of course, Robin Our Hearts.
Be always busy, always chatting.
You know, Robin Our Hearts, one night we were partying together, and I woke up the next day, my heart was broken, and my watch was missing. So I don't think she kind of stole my heart, but she stole my watch for sure. I don't know. How are you guys?
I'm doing well.
You look amazing again. You know.
Oh, I know. I hate her for it.
Every week you have an awesome look on. I wish our viewers and audience definitely could see all the glitz and bling.
She brings it.
Well, I do my best, and thank you for letting me borrow one of your sweaters. I'm not going to take all the credit.
And Judith came up with this idea that we would all wear sweater vests in honor of, not really an honor because we're not a fan. We're
Absolutely
not fans
not.
of Rick
It's
Santorum.
more of a parody.
It is a parody, so we all thought we would play nice little Republican kind of Tea Partiers. What's going on, Chris?
Well, I just want to fix your mic.
Chris, you're breaking the illusion, the fourth wall.
What did I do?
I just wanted airplay.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably good if you hear me. It is a radio show, so but we all have our sweater vests on. Judith complained about mine because I did black on black. It wasn't really. It's kind of the Guido, sweater vest look.
And
Not really.
No fair. Nobody can even tell that you're wearing a sweater vest.
I know. It just makes me look more bulky. That's it. So,
stop.
But you look very preppy and cute.
And tell them
Thank
who this
you.
is in honor of.
Rick Santorum.
I wanted you to say it. I couldn't remember.
What did you just ignore what I just said?
I completely forgot.
So Rick Santorum, as we were discussing,
She just wants to hear you say Santorum over and over again.
Let's not go there. So, last week we were discussing Rick Santorum and his
surging up from behind.
That's right. And he, is selling these sweater vests for $100 a piece. They have his little logo on them and whatnot. And now
clever,
he owns the whole thing. It is clever, and I'm sure a lot of Tea Partiers will be wearing them.
And I want this to be the death of the sweater vest.
Yeah.
Anyone who wears one after this, when I see him, I'll strangle a kitten.
Oh, jeez. Don't do that. PETA will be on our ass. That won't be good. Santorum, not good. So, of course, this week was Martin Luther King birthday on Monday, and we had it off. Did you have it off?
I don't work, so
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every day is MLK Day for you.
I forgot. Power to the people.
No special shows at the clubs.
No. You work. You get paid for doing things.
No special Robin extravaganza. No. Okay.
Well, here, the thing is, so Newt Gingrich, of course, he has to go and honor in the debate and, and throughout his language, the African-American community and talk about the plight on the world. But, of course, what he did was he brings in the highest level of unemployment that we've seen in many, many years, along with, the statistics around food stamps and social services and support for folks, and he brings them together in a wonderful way that you would only expect from a good, devout Republican racist. So let's find out.
there's no neighborhood I know of in America where if you went around and asked people, would you rather your children had food stamps or paychecks, you wouldn't end up with a majority saying they'd rather have a paycheck. And so I'm prepared, if the NAACP invites me, I'll go to their convention and talk about why the African American community should demand paychecks. Now, there's no neighborhood I know.
Honey, so they want me to go down to the welfare office when I don't have any food in my house and say, hey, I need a paycheck.
Well, first I want to go back here. Does the NAACP really want Newt Gingrich speaking to them?
Does anyone want Newt Gingrich speaking to them?
Probably not. And for him to
I think he was fishing for an invitation.
Maybe he was.
I think he was.
I love the way he comes off like he knows the plight of the African American people, so he's explaining to us all, including the African American community, and glad to go to the NAACP and say, this is your problem. I love it. It's amazing.
Well, I didn't know the NAACP started the food stamp program.
Exactly.
So I'm a little confused about that.
I missed that meeting too.
Right.
But this whole thing, after it's all said and done, nothing's going to happen to Newt at all. Nothing.
Well, the thing
Not
is,
a thing. Because the reason why is because you remember those racist comments that reality TV show guy Dog the Bounty Hunter did. Okay, well, he got a crap storm full of media, and then there was who was the other guy? That one guy that was on the radio and said nappy-headed hose. Who was that guy?
That's Don Imus.
Yeah. So he got a crap ton.
But he's not running for president.
But that's the difference.
But that's the difference. Nothing's gonna happen to Newt at all.
And let's face it. Well, it doesn't even matter what happens to Newt because Newt is not going to win. He is not going to be the nominee for the Republican Party. He's just not. It is Mitt Romney. I mean, obviously, this past week, Huntsman has, given his support to Romney. It's happening that way. Romney's the guy. South Carolina primaries this Saturday, and we're going to see it. It's going to play out. It's probably going to be Romney, Paul, or maybe Romney, Santorum. I'm not sure, but it's not going to be Newt.
Then we'll have to break out our magic underwear for that show.
Exactly. Yes.
And I want to go ahead and add insult to injury because in Iowa, Gingrich told Gingrich, whatever his name is. Whatever his name is, I don't really care. He decided to tell a gay man that he should go ahead and vote for Obama, that he didn't need his support. He didn't need that vote.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what he thinks anyways. I mean, he'd rather not have votes of everyone because he's that. Well, first of all, he doesn't think he needs them. And when you look at the Electoral College and you look at, the dynamics that are building up from the Tea Party movement, and, the fact is they don't need the left. They need moderates and independents.
And undecided.
And then along with conservatives. So they can wipe out the whole left side of the, battle.
I mean, and with that being out in the open, it's pretty apparent to me anyway, somebody who's a little ignorant on politics, it's pretty apparent to me that these are the people who they're going to serve.
Well, they're going to serve themselves and corporations. I mean, and we're going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
If you look at this cast of characters, and I want to say a couple things, because obviously we're in the heat of this election cycle, and it's hard for when you're a progressive show. We represent and are part of progressive communities, but Judith and I, and we said this before, work with both sides of the aisle, and I want to call it out. It's not always that Republicans are wrong and Democrats are right, and I think that we all probably agree that some of the hate-filled speech and language that's come out of the parties is really the pieces that we don't like out of the Tea Party movement. And that started right from day one when they were so racist about President Obama and the posters and all the horrible things we've seen came out of them. And if they've built up their momentum, they have taken really the more traditional Republican Party hostage, and they're holding them there. And so people like Mitt Romney, who, is battling off these folks, who's actually in the book of the traditional Republican is fairly conservative. But when you put them next to Tea Party members, it's a very different story. So we're watching this cast of Tea Party members, except for Ron Paul, who is a libertarian, who is his own character. play out. And, it's not, again, I want to just add it in this little piece, is that it's not always correct around how we bash sometimes those parties. And, and sometimes the media is wrong. This week, I saw that the AP was saying that they turned a whole story in a day's time that Ron Paul was unethically using his congressional dollars for his transportation and air flight, airlines, and saying that he was going in first class and wasting dollars, and he's always been this great fiscal conservative, and this was coming from the AP. Well, actually, when you look into the story further, you find out that Ron Paul was using his own money to bump up the first class. He has so many miles because he's in Texas and he travels so much that he was using his own miles and actually fronting the dollars even for his congressional office. So the guy wasn't doing anything wrong, and they took it down another road. But that's because he's almost that unlikable guy. I mean, he's, for the media, they know he's not going to become the president. So it's easy for them to go after him. But meanwhile, they're going to be more cautious with a Romney or certainly other party members. But and going to Mitt Romney, here's the guy. We know he's going to end up being the nominee. And he is so disconnected from the people in this country. Gosh. I mean, look at the things. I mean,
they're handing out money.
Yeah.
There's been a few different examples. I know recently, I wish I can remember what state, but this unemployed woman found out that he was flying into her town. She went to the airport. She met up with him at a rally and was, I'm unemployed. I'm really having a hard time paying my bills. He reaches into his wallet and gives her $60. Wow. Okay, well, again, right. I mean, he's so out of touch. Oh, you're having trouble paying your bills. Here's $60. Instead of looking at the policies that he's been backing to get to the root of the problem of why she's even unemployed to begin with.
That's kind of like give a man a fish type of thing.
Right, exactly. And who walks around with like $60? Okay,
we should play his other disconnected clip. And this gets into actually the percentage of taxes he pays, that he actually pays, and also, just kind of what he thinks is little money or big money. So let's get to that. We're going to just play that real quick.
What's the effective rate you can pay?
What's the effective rate I've been paying? It's probably closer to the 15% rate than anything, because my last 10 years, my income comes overwhelmingly from investments made in the past rather than ordinary income or rather than earned annual income. I got a little bit of income from my book, but I gave that all away. And then I get speaker's fees from time to time, but not very much.
Yeah, and there you go.
Well,
how much are his speaker fees, by the way?
Well, his speaker fees for last year, I think, were $374,000 or something like that.
Yeah, just pocket change.
It's actually, between 2010 and 2011, there were $374,327.62, and that 50.
Not very much.
Not very much, but that 15% tax rate he's speaking about is what most Americans pay, really. They kind of made it like, oh, well, he's getting less. Well, no. But what's scary is he pretty much a regular millionaire, folks that make over $150,000, I think, and up. He is not paying anywhere there, because the next jump up is like 26% and then 35%. He actually, if he wasn't playing the shell game that he plays, I think his rate would be somewhere around 35%, and he's only paying 15% because he plays the shell game with the corporation, the stocks that he owns. It's such a scam, and it really ties back to his whole history of getting away with putting money offshore and doing those things. And then,
which offshore is not helping America.
And I think that's the thing too, is that we talked about this last week. This is a guy who grew up in a very wealthy family. His father ran for president. And the funny thing is, he has always been able to kind of get away with everything. He's offering up, he's actually saying that he will finally give his tax history for 1 year in April. How convenient. So he'll tell the country in April, which is far too late into this game, how much money he actually is worth. In comparison, President Obama had to show by this time 7 years worth of taxes.
Obama!
Mitt Romney
and his birth certificate.
Yeah, that's right. And Mitt Romney's dad, who actually ran for president, when he actually said, I will show my tax returns, because at that time there was a bit of a scandal around how much money he was worth running for president, he showed 12 years. His own father showed 12 years of tax reports. He's willing to do 1 year only, because that 1 year has had a timeline that he hasn't even filed yet to play the game of what that looks like. And that's really scary. And he's willing to play that game, and people are willing to buy into it. You know.
But didn't Bush do the same thing too?
He did. And remember, Bush stalled it out, I think, but Bush ended up having to divulge his taxes. He did. He did more than 1 year.
Yeah, and he also had to divulge all of his Army records and all this other crap too.
He did, but we all knew that his father had already taken care of that mess for him. So he was, you know, I think there's a consistent pattern here of this is guys for big business, big companies. You know, the little guy gets screwed, and I want to talk about the elephant named PIPA and the gorilla
Pippa Middleton
and the gorilla named SOPA.
Watch it. Don't talk about Pippa. She'll sue you. She's going after paparazzi right now.
And Pippa and SOPA are in the room. And, you know, today, midnight last night, the internet world basically said we are not going to allow these two bills, PIPA being in the House, and I'm sorry, SOPA being in the House, PIPA being in the Senate, and which is basically they're calling them not to stop pirating bills. But if you look at the language of them, they truly will take away the freedoms that we have today on something that is changing the world, something that has changed the world, something that has taken on regimes and turned them into democracies, and that is our internet, our free access to this way of speaking, this radio show, all the ones here on MSC Radio Network, the ones around the world, the ones that, you know, people do a YouTube post and show the violence that happens from police officers and things that would never get out, that would be squashed by the media, because let's face it, media is owned by major corporations, and more media outlets are being bought out by the biggest corporations. So you really have a situation where, I just want to see.
And today,
go.
For 24 hours, like you said, there was a bunch of websites supporting this. Over 7,000 websites shut down for an amount of time in support of getting rid of or enlightening people to this issue, and the fact that so very much can come out of this. I mean, it really goes back to, you know, the whole freedom of expression in this particular outlet, because like I was telling you guys earlier, I have 61 videos, and just in this last 3 minutes, I've counted 15 that have had some reference to some other person or me giving homage to something that someone else has done, not for a profit of myself or for a public or, public something of myself, advertisement.
Monetary gain.
Yes,
right.
Not for monetary gain,
Right.
but just because I wanted to share something with the rest of the world. And it's not selfish reasons. So many people just want to help others get word out, and they want to put a stop to that.
Well, you know, I think that so obviously I want to get to the detail of this. So midnight last night, pages like Wikipedia, obviously anyone went to Google today, they saw the blacked out Google, you know, but some Craigslist, a lot of pages actually just shut down for 24 hours. Some did it for maybe 12 hours. Our station shut down from midnight to noon today, the 12 hours. So we could do our show tonight, which we were going to, you know, talk about this very issue that is so critical. But really, what, you know, is an interesting thing is this created, you know, some backlash for the Republicans on it, but also the Democrats that have signed on to it, which is really interesting. About 5 hours ago, it broke that Marco Rubio, who is a really conservative Florida Republican, has now just backed out of that bill. He's abandoning it, which is kind of surprising.
He made his announcement on Facebook, by the way, too, which I thought was very fun.
Which is very cool, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then, of course, Harry Reid and others are dropping it. You know, I thought that this morning when I was thinking about and looking at the list, you know, what's her name? Wasserman Schultz from Florida, who is now the DNC chair. I thought, you know what? We need to call her, because are you kidding me? A Democrat leader and for the DNC, you have to be raising money right now, and your base are progressives and the people that believe in the freedom of speech and also this access. I mean, and you're talking about access for the poor. I mean, this is a way for anyone to have the control to get their word out and their language out, and not be controlled by big dollars.
Well, like 2 years ago, well, actually 3 years ago, the government was like, "Oh, we need to get internet in everybody's household. We're going to try to make it where it'd be free access for everybody." Now they want to kill it
because now we're saying too much.
Right, I guess.
I want to talk to, Chris is here on the line.
And it got Obama elected too.
Oh, of course.
So
08 was the first time in our history that there was an election like that, and it was all due to this access, and it could be controlled. And to think about this, we have changed our Supreme Court's ruling of allowing these super PACs to do what they do based in corporations, dump multi-millions of dollars and billions of dollars into campaigns in secret that you don't even know who they are. Corporations are doing that. Those same super PACs to allow them to do that during the election cycle, and then give those same corporations the power to stop the internet.
Exactly.
What are we become? We are silent. We will be only by what we see on television, what's controlled on the internet, and then on the radio waves. And that is
I don't live in China.
Thing. Exactly. Right. And I mean, and it's almost scarier than China because China is communist. We know what they are. Right. We're pretending to be a democracy and to be free and to really just be controlled by corporations.
And they can only have one baby.
I really think that everyone's getting completely power hungry. Like unbelievably so. And I just posted in the chat room the link to the petition that you can sign in order to be a part of that, to stop that process.
Okay.
Yeah, stop that process.
Well, I think pretty much now that since a couple of these guys already abandoned the bill, I think it's just going to die off now, and I don't think it's going to happen now.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, earlier today they said there's been a withdrawal of there's still all of those withdrawals that you're talking about, but look, they're saying that there's still 76 supporters.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go away that easily, Chris, because these corporations that have lobbyists that have given these politicians so much money over the last years, really, for them, I mean, even like Wasserman Schultz, she's a perfect example. The reason she signed on to this bill is because the money they've dumped into Democratic Party, and that they're, and on both sides of the aisle, this mess is playing out. So I think that it's a hard thing for this to go away too quick. And, Rupert Murdoch is the cheerleader here, and I posted something earlier on Facebook today where he's bashing President Obama for, of course, standing up for freedom of speech. Obama! Thank you, Chris. Go ahead.
3.9 million. So it's saying that these groups, all of these groups together, like Comcast, Viacom, NBC Universal, all of these groups have contributed more than 3.9 million to the top members of Congress. I don't have that kind of money to give to my congressperson.
To combat that.
And
I'll give you a case of cocaine if that'll help you.
We'll see what we can do with that.
But Chris, I want to you're on the line, and certainly you're here listening, and you're a guy that 5 years ago was a trailblazer in this form of the media outlet and radio and internet radio and nationally speaking, doing what you've done. And I mean, I want to hear your take on it. I mean, it's really you've dealt with so many people, so many businesses that could not say our sponsor cocaine, that was forced out of regular media in some ways back in the day when they first came out because of the backlash of the name, but they found their place in this world of selling a product. Tell us some of that.
Well, basically, when cocaine first came out, they had all kinds of issues with the name. You're right, but. Now what they're having a lot of issues now, thinking that people are still thinking that it's still banned. It's never been banned.
Right.
The government has never banned it. The only places that have, they don't have any control to sell it in these two states is Texas and Illinois. Those are the only two states that cocaine can't go in. But going into like the internet radio thing, when I first started this whole thing, I started this thing from my house.
Right.
I mean, I was in the dining room of my house with dogs barking, little kids walking past, my daughter walking past, my wife talking on the phone with her friends and all this, that, and the other. And it's like, we started off, it was a train wreck. I used like really crappy equipment back in the day, but I kept going. I'm like, I got to make this happen. I got to make this happen. Cocaine actually, I went to them. I approached them, Cocaine Energy Drink. I approached those guys and I said, I'm just starting out. I want a sponsor that's going to be able to help us, make this bigger than what it should be. And 5 years later, we went from my house to a storefront in Lakewood, and now we're in a really, really kick-ass studio in downtown Cleveland. It's one thing. And now if this bill passes, the problem we're going to have is that the show that you're listening to right now, I couldn't play Obama because I couldn't play that anymore. I couldn't play anything. If I like, for instance, I couldn't play this. These little sound effects, I could not play them because they will turn around and say, this is copyrighted material by this person. You're violating their copyright infringement and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So anything, and then even G, when he's doing his show, like he was reading from a script, from a piece of paper. Right. He wouldn't be able to do that anymore because it's someone else's copy. Right. He would have to go and just do the research and put it in his own words, which he already does that already. But if we need something on the fly and we're reading something from like CNN, we couldn't do that.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's what we do when something happens while we're doing the show. For some reason during our show, not that this happened tonight, but in the past we've actually had breaking news, like major breaking news, and we've pulled it out and read it from the AP or whatever, and just to be on the curve, even though it had nothing to do with the show that night. But we've done that, and it would definitely play out. I think that when you think about all of this and everything that what people have done to get a voice in these modern times, I think it scares the corporations and big business that you can have a voice and that you can. I mean, let's face it. Not only I referred to the government piece of it, but companies know they have to play this game. And when you can actually take on a company on Twitter, on Facebook, and say to them, you know what, your product sucks. We're holding you accountable. And if you don't, we'll show you the damage you've done or, whatever it is. And we'll play it out on YouTube and it'll get 3 million hits in, a couple days. And
but the funny
what
thing,
do they do?
Yeah, the funny thing about this whole thing is that they also did a poll about the worst companies in 2011. And guess who number one was?
Who?
Facebook. They were the hated company in 2011.
Really?
Yeah, they were the most hated company in 2011.
Why is that?
Well, just because of like all the breakups and and all the nonsense going on Facebook and how people are prying into other people's business and this said, they were the most hated company. But all the media outlets like us, we promote Facebook and we want you to go like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and all this other stuff. So we're following this down the same path of these big guys like NBC and CBS and Fox and all them. But even that, with Fox and all those guys that are doing the news, like our local guys here that do the news here, 3, 5, 8, and 19, it's going to be a little hard for them too, even though they're a big corporation. Some things they won't even be able to play either.
Right, because they actually use YouTube clips all the time. They do that. They're all, you look at their movement. Their movement is totally tied to Facebook and Twitter and YouTube nowadays.
All that social media.
It is. They're tied to all of it. I want to say is that because I want to play a little tune before as we go into the break, but I want to encourage people certainly to call their state representatives, their not state senators, their U.S. representatives and senators. But please, just when you do, and know that they don't have to be a sponsor. It can just be your representative because they all talk. It matters to them. If you talk to Dennis Kucinich about it and he's next to someone that is on the bill, he's going to talk to them about it. And so feel free to do that. But make sure that when you do, be respectful when you call those offices. If you've not called your senator or congressman in the past, just know that it just really weighs out if you are respectful and generous in your language and just say that I'm a constituent and I care about this cause. Please mark me down so the numbers get to my representative.
Right. They'll blow you off, but, at least you get your voice heard.
Well, Chris, they don't really blow you off. Those are all documented, especially for U.S. senators and congresspeople.
They do. They tally
the governor.
They tally those phone calls.
They tally.
Well, I understand they tally them, but, if you do get in contact with your state representative or whoever, he's probably just going to let it go in one ear, not the other.
Well, remember, your state representative would because this bill doesn't really, outside of them having a relationship with the congressperson, or they could do an act in their own state.
Right.
But I think that, they do care, because this, especially in an election year, you cannot have something like this going on in a major social media way and not worry about your votes and where this goes. I mean, this you're an idiot if you are not concerned about how your constituents are looking at you in the social media world and just in their voting process.
Right, and if you don't want your internet to go away, then you need to contact these people too.
Right. Well, you know what? I say we play a little of this tune as we go into break, and we will do this. This was a little parody done.
Long time ago, on the world's largest network of interconnected computers, those lolcats used to make me laugh. And I knew I could make a joke and not be sued by nasty folk on the RIAA's behalf. Then along came SOPA PIPA, the internet's very own Grim Reaper. Users could not edit Ars Technica and Reddit, Tumblr, Gawker, Hacker News, and Something Awful sang the blues, and every login was refused the day the lolcats died. Why are laws a thing you can buy? They got paid off, should be laid off, re-election denied. Our web means more than lawyers, lobbies, and lies. So speak up before the internet dies. Speak up before the internet dies. Can you write a decent law? Do you care about copyright at all? Or just winning back your seat? Content will begin to ebb. You'll watch the slow death of the web, and you'll be left with nothing more to tweet. Well, I know it's looking pretty grim, 'cause they'll tear our culture limb from limb. There's too much damn support. Oh, this law we must abort. Oh, we can't let lobbies run amok with our series of tubes and that big dump truck. And I know some folks who want to give the day the lolcats died. I hear you saying, why are laws a thing you can buy? They got paid off, should be laid off, re-election denied. Our web means more than lawyers, lobbies, and lies. So speak up before the internet dies. Speak up before the internet dies. Why are laws a thing you can buy? They got paid off, should be laid off, re-election denied. Our web means more than lawyers, lobbies, and lies. So speak up before the internet dies.
Well, that I love that. I think it's great. This is Joust It Out. Please give us a call when we come back. 1-888-668-0742. Do not forget to friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and we'll be back.
See you soon.
User-friendly and ready to serve. MorningShowCentral.com. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits. A 99.5% uptime guarantee and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Check out Uncensored Net Noise every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here. Uncensored Net Noise on MorningShowCentral.com. If you live the lifestyle, then you should arrive in style. Lifestyle Limousine Service. Whether it's dinner for two, an evening at the winery, or a night out on the town, Lifestyle Limousine provides extraordinary service. Check them out on the web, lifestylelimousineservice.com. Reserve your ride now. 330-903-0508. 330-903-0508. Lifestyle Limousine Service. And make sure you tell them Morning Show Central Radio Network sent you. You're listening to MSC Radio Network, and like anything else on the internet, it runs on computers. Lots of computers. And you know, when you're dealing with computers, hard drives sometimes crash. That happened here at MSC, and you know what saved them? Rectified backup software. Don't believe us? Well, ask yourself this question. Are you backed up? Probably not. So don't be that guy and wait till it's too late. MSC did their research and tried tons of different backup programs and chose Rectified backup software. You know, peace of mind is priceless, and Rectify can give you and your computer system that peace of mind. Find out more at rectify.com. That's RECTIPHY.com. Call the show toll free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com. Cocaine Energy Supplement. Due to great consumer demand, Redux Beverages has officially announced the return of its world-famous Cocaine Energy Supplement. It's now available at retail locations across the country, as well as online at reduxdirect.com. That's reduxdirect.com. Don't forget to be part of the all-new Cocaine Energy Supplement social network, where you can meet other Cocaine Energy Supplement fans from around the world. Cocaine Energy Supplement. You can become a member. By logging on to lovecocaine.com. Heat 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right.
Rise above the clutter, brand your identity, and make a statement. Broken Fan Media. Expert video production, television and web commercials, music video, real estate tours, live concerts and events, state-of-the-art post-production, video and audio editing. Check us out on the web at brokenfanmedia.com. 434-944-0472. Broken Fan Media. The next generation of sight and sound.
I'm in the mood to dance.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio.
It's driving me crazy. It's like a mind puzzle, an awesome mind puzzle.
Right here on morningshowcentral.com. Coming at you from the rock and roll capital, it's an exciting and fast-paced global forum with the man who knows how to help get your band even better. Yeah! Doc Rock tackles industry issues with informed guests and invites your questions, concerns, and tales of band life. There's never a dull moment in Doc's world of showbiz. He cares about artist issues and escalating your talents. So make an appointment with Doc Rock on Band-Aid. Tuesday night, starting at 9:05. Only on morningshowcentral.com. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningshowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com.
Miranda, and this is Mirandized for Joust It Out. Recently, I was talking with several people about workplace etiquette. I have none. The subject of talking about politics came up, and there was this general consensus that political discussions do not have a place in the office. This came after reading a slew of holiday-themed advice columns in which hand-wringing holiday-goers dreaded the inevitable political rants of certain family members at the dinner table. It's 2012, and politics are taking a front seat in the American, even global mindset. For some of us, politics are an everyday sort of thing, but for much of the electorate, politics are something that only happens every 4 years. American attitudes toward politics, I'm talking politics with a big P, tend to lean in the direction of mistrust. Lots of people consider how they vote to be a private matter. I remember canvassing in the last election and having many people refuse to tell me who they supported because they felt it was a private decision. It is a private decision, but the people we secretly support are the ones who make very public decisions that affect our very personal lives. How we drive, who we love, where we learn, and how we spend our money are all dictated by a group of people just like us, putting their pants on one leg at a time, but who have been charged with calling the shots. So why do we treat politics as a four-letter word? Well, we know that we don't all agree on the same things when it comes to politics, and in general, people shy away from confrontation. It's just not polite to disagree. Debate isn't something we consider pleasant. It makes sense, then, that we don't talk about politics at the holiday table or by the water cooler. But why shouldn't we? Talking about politics should be as commonplace as talking about sports or the weather. After all, politics shape our very lives. We should be able to espouse and defend our beliefs at any time in the open. I think it is less polite to not welcome open discourse than it is to stick to mundane small talk because it lacks controversy. We're founded on the idea that the freedom to speak our minds and change our minds are tantamount to being civilized and just. The overall cultural norm of keeping our political beliefs to ourselves out of concern of being inappropriate doesn't make sense. It is only through thoughtful exchange that we raise our collective consciousness. Election years offer the perfect space in which to talk about where our country stands, where it is going, and where it should be. We can't and shouldn't have political discussions and echo chambers where we go unchallenged and are only validated. We shouldn't drown our political conversations in jargon and abstract concepts. This is especially important because most voters are in the political middle. These are the people who either swing between parties, don't care, or can't make up their minds. This is not something about converting the staunch purveyors at either end of the spectrum, but about enlightening and informing our fellow citizens on what is going on around them and what they stand to gain or lose. I think the left has done a crappy job of staking our claim in American ideals of freedom, justice, family, and prosperity. Somehow we lost our chance to shape the national discourse, and we've been left to scramble on the defense. We believe in family, so we're pro-choice. We support education, so we allocate money to schools rather than wars. We believe in peace. We believe in everybody earning their fair share. We believe in working hard. We believe that it is our duty to help one another. We believe in letting people love whom they want to love. We believe in our environment, and we believe that it should be preserved for future generations. In short, we believe in humanity. It is incumbent on us to find opportunities to talk about how politics are more than mere opinions and shallow rhetoric, but actually how it impacts our daily lives, and how some decision makers are eroding our basic freedoms and access. By talking with coworkers, family, neighbors, we have the opportunity to humanize politics. When we do that, we can have a greater impact on raising awareness and fostering action to shape the political landscape for the better. Playing it safe by talking recipes or reality TV keeps us in the dark. Having honest conversations about the bigger implications of our lived experiences will lead us to true and much-needed change.
You've been Mirandaized, bitches. Hey.
Mirandaized?
Yes.
Mirandized.
No, I want Mirandaized.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Mirandaized. You know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you know. I was playing off her name a little more. Anyways, we will be playing.
You have a right to. Well, I don't even know what the Miranda rights are.
Right to remain silent.
How many times have you been arrested?
It will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. Oh, I'm sorry.
Robin knows it.
Robin's like, last night I was, But anyways, I just want to say, our good friend Maria Miranda.
Did you find her on Craigslist? Is she
Who?
Miranda.
Robin?
Yeah.
Oh, me?
No, he's talking about. No, we did not.
Okay. Well, she knows the Miranda rights.
I know. Yeah, she does. It's all of those.
Drunken Nights is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I was gonna say like all those LA Law episodes.
Let me plug Maria Miranda too.
I love her.
All right.
Love Miranda.
We love her. I just want to say that you can go to the JoustItOut.com website. You can read all of her. Oh God, I cannot think right now.
All of her blog posts.
All of her blog posts, and that's Mirandized, and you can read that. And a couple times a month, she'll be posting those, and also we'll be doing these recordings. And her counterpart from the other side of the aisle will be coming out in the future, and we're going to save his name for a bit of a surprise. So we'll have the two of them coming out of breaks throughout the month.
Joust it out.
Yeah, so they'll be jousting in their recordings. But we are lucky to have her. She was great. She was published in Spangle Magazine, and people really came to love her. So we are honored to have her part of our show, and still have her part of our show as she was here as a host for a while. And please check all that out. But we are back, and my dear friends Judith and Robin are
here enjoying themselves.
We are. I just want to say a couple things. This was, now that we're kind of in this part of the show, this heated, passionate debates that we have and the things that are going on. And I can't help but think of, and I hate to even say his name on this show, but the whole Tebow factor that played out this past week with football. And I'm not a sports guy, and I don't know, maybe he's the best football player ever. I do like some football. I'm a Pats fan. And I happen to post on my Facebook page a real, the night that the game was going on with the Pats, I kind of said,
traitor.
Well, I just said something about, I was born and raised in New England, so it's what it is. But we kind of went back and forth. Chris was on there. A bunch of people I made a joke.
I know it, yes.
And my joke was, I guess God is too busy tonight, whatever. That kind of thing.
Push that one,
and you dumbass.
Right.
Whatever. Right. That was it. Everyone responded really good. People loved it, whatever.
Right.
A friend that we have, who I didn't realize was such a born again.
Facebook will do that for you.
The next day on the page where I thought it was all silent, really got angry with me. And she went on this tirade about how she loves him and that she would sacrifice her children for him, which was really kind of scary.
That's sick. That is sick. What kind of Christian is she?
Right, I know. But the thing was that in her reply to one of my things, she's referring to being gay and calling it my choice. You made your choices. And all of a sudden I'm seeing this language and I'm thinking, here's someone that is a friend of me and my partner. And I was really taken aback. And I realized that I stepped in this area, this territory around Christianity, because they've made this guy into Jesus.
I don't think you did, because, I'll tell you, I grew up, I'm a pastor's daughter.
Right.
I love me some Jesus, but I don't go around every day like, please, dear God, let me pass this math test. Please, dear God, let me get this job. Please, you know what I mean? And I don't make a big show out of it. And I certainly don't go out and evangelize to everyone, especially if they're not asking for it from me.
I love Jesus, but I'm not going to step in front of a bus, to save his life. I'm sorry.
Right, he already did that for himself.
Exactly.
So so I mean, we don't have to worry about that right now. I don't, so whatever. But I thought what you said was funny because you're gonna publicly make a show about you're the most religious person on the football field.
Right.
Fine, but it's a football game. Now, if you want to privately pray in the locker room that you don't end up with a concussion, by all means, please do that.
Right.
And I just think it's just a really bad taste show to get on your knees in front of everyone to show how devout you are.
Well, here it is. In the background behind the guy, he's born and raised in this minister family. They're born, radical right-wing born-agains. And the fact is, so I point this out, the fact that they've also supported, what is it, family,
Focus on the
Focus
family.
on the family and the ads against gay people. So I point this out to our friend that he is a longtime supporter of anti-gay language. And in her response to me, she says she knows that. And I think, this is what I think, you're really not my friend.
No.
Because and I've done this. I thought I did this house clean a long time with family, which I did. Because growing up in Catholicism and I got some Bible thumpers in my family. But I thought, you know what? If that's how you're going to be, that's what it is. And I thought, holy crap, I never knew this about this person. And the fact that you would choose to support someone that's anti-gay, it's like our families if you have conservative members of the family and they separate, I'll vote for this anti-gay candidate, but I love you still. Well, no, maybe you don't. Because at some point,
and
what's
it goes
more
right
important?
back to what Miranda was saying about that difference between your everyday life and your decision that you make at the voting booth.
Right.
You know what? So it really does come down to your actual individual rights every day.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
That's right, Chris. What I want to say on that is, the religious aspect has gotten really crazy, and I want to play this minister who has a very interesting take on gay men specifically,
and has a medical message for all of us.
Yes,
as well.
it's a medical it's a medical concern and message. So I'm going to play this. We're going to come back.
The God of the Bible made the human sperm. The God of the Bible designed it, and it was not designed to be emptied into an area that is filled with feces. There is nothing for it to germinate with. It will most certainly mean the extinction of the human race. My belief is that if the medical community would just step forward and just would share with the American people what happens to the male anus, what the problems that homosexuals have with their rectums, the damage that is done, the operations that are needed to sew up their bodies, if you will, and how many of the men don't even give the stitches time to heal before they're out there practicing that wicked behavior. Some are bleeders, men who are not turned off by ingesting the feces of other men. If the truth was told, people would literally gag, and no one would want to be in a lifestyle like that. Who wants to practice anything that's going to ultimately lead a grown man to by the time he's in his 40s or 50s or whatnot, having to wear a diaper or a, quote, butt plug, end quote, just to be able to contain their bowels?
You know what? Fuck him.
Oh, my God. I want to punch him in the face, man.
He's focusing on the sex of homosexuality. And it's not that.
So, gee, I was hoping I got your right size, but apparently I didn't. You need a bigger size.
I am 42, so...
And apparently he's a power bottom.
I got those especially for you. And I also brought this too, just in case the diaper wasn't enough.
That is a giant butt plug. We'll just put that over here. I don't know.
Put that for the rest of the show.
I think we should give a call to Jennifer Swampwitch, Chris.
Yes, please.
If you want to give her a call for us.
I don't know what to do after this.
Oh, no.
This guy, wait, hold on, stop. This guy needs, he needs a butt plug in his mouth.
Thank you.
I swear to God. Look, I know a lot of gay men and a lot of gay women. And
Are you friends with them? Do you have some gay friends?
I don't know. Maybe. But the thing is that this guy is a total lunatic. He's going. What was this on NPR or something, or some radio show or something?
No, I found it on Right Wing Watch.
But anyways, wherever he's coming from, he's going on and putting it on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
And
he's got a following.
Right, and he's making a spectacle of himself.
Well, tonight I'm going to be doing. Okay. Tonight I'm going to be go ahead and doing a response video.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin. We're very happy you're going to do that.
Yes.
Robin will be back in 1 second. But the ridiculousness, even though that is so absurd and ridiculous, there are people that believe this guy. And there are people that believe this guy because he's a minister and he is Bible thumping and that's who they follow. And I know might be a little offensive to some people. And I consider myself to be spiritual. I believe in religion. I believe, but I believe in people making their own choices. And absurdity is absurdity.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that people would go that deep into a road of being brainwashed is no different than for me than Tebow and a friggin' football player and him being treated like Jesus and them referring to him as being a savior. I mean, that's insane.
Hey there.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jennifer.
Love you, babe.
How are you?
Good. I want you to join the conversation.
Well, I've enjoyed the show. It's been very enlightening and spiritual. And my dogs are really
thank
getting
you, Swamp
into it
Swamp Witch. We'll
because,
say a prayer for you.
Caden is gay.
Oh.
And he had a lot to say about everything that you were talking
We'll
about.
have to talk about his coming out at some point.
Well, he came out a long time ago, and he did try to have sex with another dog when I had him at the vet a few weeks ago, and I asked the man, I said, is your dog a male? He said, yes. I said, well, I thought so. My dog's gay. And everyone there was really receptive to it.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
I found that great for South Carolina.
So how are things going in down south right now?
Is it a circus?
Well, I haven't left my house this week because of all the Tea Partiers.
Be very afraid. Be very afraid.
And I just felt it was safer for me to keep my car in the driveway with all my Obama stickers.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But Saturday, I plan to go vote, and I will take my video camera with me. I did get a new camera, and I'm going to go and vote for Steve Colbert.
Oh,
but I am
awesome.
going to go out to the polling, and where I vote is actually a church. It's like one of those shopping center strip mall churches.
Oh,
and there's
perfect.
lots of those.
And that's where we have our voting for my area.
Perfect. I hope you wear one of your beautiful witchy gowns.
Yes, I always do. And I'm going to try to get some videos. And I also love the Rick Santorum sweaters you gals are sporting.
Well,
thank you.
That's a nice tribute.
She can't.
Yes.
I know you can't see that I have one on, Jennifer, because I wore a black sweater over a black shirt.
But he's wearing a sweater vest
really
as well.
Tell, but y'all look very nice.
Thank you.
So what I did see something this morning that you posted about the card that you first took out this morning on the day. What was that about?
Let's see. Do you remember what it was? I do so many for so many different pages of mine.
Oh, it was something you sent me. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Normally you know right away. I'm sorry. That was my fault. My bad.
No, definitely. I have all these pages, and I did some readings for each of the candidates and for myself and everything. But is there anything you'd like to know for anybody?
You know what? Why don't
I did a great spell for Martin Luther King Day, actually, for justice and peace for everybody. But I can go over that later.
Well, we don't have that
you
much
know
time,
about?
Jen. Do you want to read?
Right.
Is it something you wanted to read, the spell that you gave for that day?
Oh, we got jumbled up.
Oh, do you want to read that spell for the day?
For the justice and peace?
It would take me a while to find it, but it was
that's
a
all right.
spell for peace, and it was for gay rights. You know, like on let me just say that in honor of Martin Luther King, you know, he fought for equality for all people.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to really, you know, with gay rights, what I think about now is that's just as important as civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And now it seems that gay people are being oppressed and rights withheld. So we all need to join together, you know, in this fight for everybody to be treated equally.
Well, Jen, I know that you're a big fan of the internet, and with PIPA and SOPA, I know that we're going to go out in a second, actually, because it's already 8 o'clock, which I can't believe this hour flew by. I think we're going to have to go back to a 2-hour show at some point because it just goes by way too quick.
Yeah.
But we're going to go out on our tune that we played a little earlier. But before we do, Jen, I want to thank you. And please follow Jen on her website. You can go to joustout.com and find her link to her personal website and see all the wonderful things she does. Go to her Facebook page. That's Jennifer Swampwitch or Jennifer Taro, right? Tarot card.
Well, thank you. And I have spells by Swampwitch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so please, follow her, like all of our folks that really support this show. We thank them. Everyone in the chat room is so wonderful to be in there and joining us, and we're fortunate to have you as our friends. And we just want to say thank you, and we plan on being here for a very long time. We need you all to support the efforts of stopping SOPA and PIPA, and please stand with us and in this this issue. But I'm actually going to
tonight by midnight I'll have posted my after show video. So keep a lookout for that because it will be quite the earful with all that's going on.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer.
We'll talk to you all next week. Peace.
Good night, King Victor, from the chat room.
And I knew I could make a joke and not be sued by nasty folk on the RIAA's behalf. Then along came SOPA PIPA, the internet's very own Grim Reaper. Users could not edit Ars Technica and Reddit, Tumblr, Gawker, Hacker News, and Something Awful sang the blues, and every login was refused the day the lolcats died. Why are laws a thing you can buy? They got paid off, should be laid off, re-election denied. Our web means more than lawyers, lobbies, and lies. So speak up before the internet dies. Speak up before the internet dies. Can you write a decent law? Do you care about copyright at all? Or just winning back your seat? Content will begin to ebb. You'll watch the slow death of the web, and you'll be left with nothing more to tweet. Well, I know it's looking pretty grim, 'cause they'll tear our culture limb from limb. There's too much damn support. Oh, this law we must abort. Oh, we can't let lobbies run amok with our series of tubes and that big dump truck. And I know some folks who want to give the day the lolcats died. I hear you saying, why are laws a thing you can buy? They got paid off, should be laid off, re-election denied. Our web means more than lawyers, lobbies, and lies. So speak up before the internet dies. Speak up before the internet dies. Why are laws a thing you can buy? They got paid off, should be laid off, re-election denied. Our web means more than lawyers, lobbies, and lies. So speak up before the internet